Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Huddle.
Where we where we talk about football.
Yes, where we talk about football. I don't know what
What
you were about to say.
I don't know.
We'll get to that later. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Season 2, Episode 12, Week 12. And this is, of course, Week 12 of the NFL season. So today's playbook, we got NFL news, Elijah's Trash Talk Tuesday, games of the week, takeaways, or SeaPack Reacts, where we react to our favorite teams in under a minute. And we wrap up today's episode with the Steel Curtain session. So without further ado, Elijah, kick us off with some NFL news.
So here's some big news for the AFC North. Joe Burrow is out for the season with a wrist injury. If you saw the game, he came in, hit his hand or something. There was some background stuff with his hand that it's getting investigated or whatever. But anyway, Joe Burrow is out for the season.
Which means goodbye to my Super Bowl champions and goodbye to my MVP.
Yeah, who knows? Jake Browning
are officially wrong for the year.
Yeah, but staying with the AFC North and another quarterback, Deshaun Watson is also out for the season. He is having a shoulder surgery. He wasn't really playing in the season anyway, but that leads to Dorian Thompson-Robinson's first career win as a starter against our Pittsburgh Steelers. And then keeping it in the AFC North again, Mark Andrews, tight end for the Ravens, is out for the season. And then you can go ahead, Levi, with some...
Yeah, we're going to go all the way over to the NFC. Over in San Francisco, Brock Purdy is the first perfect passer rating, for the Niners since Joe Montana. So it's been a minute, but Purdy the Great has done it again. Brian Beluga, retires as a Packer. Whatever. I basically thought he retired like 2 years ago. So,
that's crazy.
Back over to the AFC. Zach Wilson will be benched after his poor performances over the past couple of weeks. Tim Boyle will be the starting quarterback for the Jets for the first Black Friday game.
Yeah,
this Friday. And actually, it's not even Wilson's going to be the backup anymore. He's actually now the third string quarterback.
Yeah, Trevor Siemian will be taking second string.
Which is good because Zach Wilson sucks.
He's
awful.
Definitely does.
Moving on, Elijah, you can pick this one up.
Okay, San Francisco again. Tulanoa Hufanga is out for this season with an ACL injury.
Very bad for their defense.
He's been great. Yes, and then let's go back to the north again. Miles Jack unretires to join the Steelers practice squad. They also signed Blake Martinez off of the Panthers practice squad.
And the biggest news of the week, maybe for us too, because this can be interesting.
Yeah,
Colts out of nowhere cut All-Pro and All-Pro Bowl and first-team All-Pro Shaquille Leonard.
Yeah, Darius Shaquille Leonard.
Don't know why they did it, but hey, Steelers.
They could get
pick them up, please. Yeah, that's it for our NFL news of the week, which leads us into, other than the Steel Curtain session, the best part of this episode. It is time for Trash Talk Tuesday. Elijah, take it away.
All right, let's start out with our Steelers. They should change Kenny Pickett's name to Kenny Throw It. Get it?
I get it. Actually, he can throw it just to the ground whenever there was no receiver there.
That is true. Tua, trade for Jalen Ramsey was probably one of the best trades of this season. Yeah, he's got 2 picks. Looks pretty good. And then let's go on to my team. Imagine losing to an LA team this week.
That's hilarious.
Seattle Seahawks.
So funny.
Yes. Giants, Tommy DeVito is Daniel Jones if Daniel Jones was half decent. And then Chiefs, one Kelsey Swift duo showed up, the other did not. And then let's go on to some honorable mentions. I don't think I've brought any of these yet to the Huddle podcast.
I don't think they know what honorable mentions are.
Basically just honorable mentions that aren't the teams. Anyway, AFC West, why can't any of their receivers actually do their job and catch the ball? The Chargers dropping everything against the Packers. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, former Packer, drops game-winning touchdown.
And that is hilarious to us because we have so many inside jokes about MV dropping.
Insert picture editor, which is me. And then finally, Matt Canada. You won't get blamed anymore for anything.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I like this one too, Elijah. He says 49ers McCaffrey is starting his TD streak all over again.
One game right now. Let's go.
Here we go. He's got about a streak as DTR has right now, Elijah. All right.
Yep.
But let's move on to games of the week.
Games of the week. Games of the week.
Games of the week.
I thought we weren't bringing that back.
No, we weren't supposed to, but it's kind of fun. Even though I hate it. Biggest win of the week: Bills thrash the Jets 32-6.
Yep.
Whenever you see a game like that, you would assume Stephon Diggs will put up monster points. He gave me 6.7, and I lost my fantasy game.
But Khalil Shakir,
the most important one.
That's X-rated.
Biggest upset: Broncos country. Let's ride.
Let's go. Shout out to
we're
Connor
sorry,
Reddick.
Dobbs, but you rocket ship.
Yeah, go fly away in your favorite rocket ship zooming through the
Houston,
sky.
you have a problem. Broncos beat Vikings 21-20. Russell Wilson and Cortland Sutton connection has been insane.
Yeah,
the past couple of games.
Yeah.
And the best game of the week: Lions comeback win against the Bears. They won 31-26. Lions, of course, got another matchup this Thursday. Sorry.
Yeah.
They have the
Packers
Thanksgiving game that they always play.
Yeah.
They're gonna lose.
Yeah. Go Packers.
Yeah.
Go Thanksgiving.
Anyway, those are your games of the week. Moving on. Takeaways. Obviously, what we took away from this past week, or what everything in the league is going on.
Yeah.
Elijah.
Yep.
How does Joe Burrow's injury not only affect the Bengals, not only the AFC North, but the entire league itself?
Yeah, so first off, the Bengals, it's huge because we saw what an unhealthy Joe Burrow, how the Bengals did with an unhealthy Joe Burrow in the beginning of the season. And now they have Jake Browning, who has hardly any experience in the NFL. His first game was against the Ravens, and he lost. But the AFC North, I mean, it's looking good for everybody else. The Browns will probably make the playoffs with their defense if DTR keeps playing well. The Ravens probably getting the first seed, first.
They basically have a loss unless something crazy happens.
Yeah, and then
beat them the last week of the season. They got a loss.
Yeah, and the Steelers got to play the Bengals twice, so if they can actually play well now. That's pretty huge for them. And then for the AFC playoffs, I mean, no Chiefs Bengals potentially, no Ravens Bengals, no Bills Bengals.
That's gonna be terrible because I don't want to see the Ravens.
Yeah,
I would love to see the Bengals Bills.
Yeah.
But then that opens up a seed now, maybe one of the lower seeds, 6 or 7, for the Texans.
Yeah.
Maybe the Steelers will probably be fighting it.
The Bills aren't even in the playoffs right now.
The Bills are not even in the playoffs. And this other team that is kind of creeping their way up, which switches us into our next takeaway. Can the Broncos make a playoff run? Right now, I think the Broncos are maybe 10th, 9th or 10th in the league, in the AFC standings. So, Elijah, what are our thoughts? Can the Broncos make a playoff run, and is Russell Wilson back?
Well, they're on a streak right now. They've been winning good games, too. The Chiefs, the Bills, the Vikings. I mean, it's not like they're just playing like the Jets or anything. They're playing good teams. And Russ has been crazy.
Or the Packers. Yeah.
I'm not going to deny that. So I think there's definitely a chance for a wild card spot. I mean, obviously they're not winning division, but they're above the Raiders. I think they are. They're above the Chargers, definitely. So, I mean,
they got an interesting next couple of weeks. It kind of varies. They got the Browns, whose defense has been great.
Yeah.
So they got this game, this upcoming Sunday. Week after that, they got the Texans, which will actually be a huge game, not only for both teams, but honestly for the seeding of the entire AFC.
You're right.
And then within those last 5 games of the season, they got the Chargers, the Lions, which might be 2 hard back-to-back games. Patriots should be a win. Chargers again. They wrap up the season with the Las Vegas Raiders. So it could go either way. It all just depends on how well Russell Wilson wants to play. And honestly, they have Sean Payton, who is one of the better coaches, or was, kind of took the season off, but last year. He's kind of coming back, finally kind of trying to see, what this Broncos team can do. The only thing they need is just a better defense, and I think this team could be a playoff team in the future again.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to make it. I think their defense is good enough. I mean, they have how many turnovers against some of the best teams?
Right.
Obviously, they're not perfect. They're not like Pittsburgh. I'm just kidding. Pittsburgh.
You're far from perfect. Oh, my.
But, yeah, Russ is really stepping up, and he kind of looks like he could be back. I think he has better stats than Patrick Mahomes, technically. And, Sutton's doing
Broncos
well.
country, let's ride.
Yeah, that's right. And then finally, how bad are the Chargers?
You need to rephrase that question, Elijah, to how bad is Brandon Staley affecting a good team with a high potential, honestly, a team that should be in the Super Bowl with a terrible coach just holding them back?
I still think. I mean,
No, okay, so here's
bad.
You have a great safety in Derwin James.
Yeah.
Which, is he hurt right now? I don't know.
I don't know, but I know Bosa got hurt.
Bosa obviously got hurt in the last week.
Yeah.
But you still technically had Bosa and Mack, who played pretty well all season. You have Austin Eckler, one of the best dynamic running backs in the league. You have Justin Herbert, who can be a top 5 quarterback in the league. And you have a stellar wide receiver core and a decent offensive line. And Quentin Johnson has done nothing. Mike Williams lives in the hospital. Palmer, okay, he has a good game every once in a while. And Keenan Allen, he's been consistent, but
except last
you
week.
can't just rely on him. The Chargers on paper are a great team. Chargers on paper are playoffs every single year, guaranteed. Put them in a game situation under the leadership of Brandon Staley, it's over for them. He should have been fired last year. Honestly, he should have been fired 2 years ago after calling that timeout in that game against the Raiders.
Yeah.
That was pathetic. He had a playoff spot locked for him, and he called it timeout.
It's for the script.
It's stupid. It was just stupid. And then he should have been fired last year after that comeback loss that the Jaguars beat them in the wild card round of the playoffs. You're up, 24-0?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, not all play reflects bad coaching, but it comes to an extent. And with a team like the Chargers, how good they can be, I feel like Staley is holding them back. So
I know Staley's definitely ruining that team, but also all the drop passes against the Packers. I mean, it's Keenan Allen who's dropping passes. It's Quentin Johnson dropping passes.
When he's usually making crazy one-hand catches.
I mean, you just got to get it all together. I mean, even Justin Herbert, what stat-wise, what really has he done this year? I'm pulling up stats right now. Let's see. 1 week, just 136 yards against the Jets. Honestly, it's actually not too bad.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Herbert has potential to be a top 5.
Yeah. So, maybe you're right. It could just be the coaching. And I do think Brandon Staley is terrible and needs to be fired. But still, there's got to be passes caught, and they're not winning games, which is crazy. I mean, even the Steelers, who are terrible, are winning games. I mean, if you have a good team and you're not winning games, that just doesn't make sense to me. Even if you have a bad coach, we had a bad coach. We're still winning games somehow. But anyway, I just think they're not next year in the draft. They're going to have the high spot, definitely.
I think will be good for this team.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm just kind of questioning is, you have a good receiver core. Why did you waste? No, I wouldn't say waste a pick on Quentin Johnson, but there was other guys that you might have could.
I think it's just because Keenan Allen's getting up there. They couldn't have expected this kind of year from him,
right?
And they know Mike Williams is injury prone, so
right.
But again, he hasn't really done too much. Quentin Johnson, so they just need to get him involved more, and he's got to do better. So yeah. And I think that
so that's it for our takeaways. And Elijah, 3, 2, 1, go. SeaPack Reacts.
So they won against the Chargers. Another kind of a sloppy game. But you know what? Jordan Love was crazy. His best game of the season by far. Best game of his career. Aaron Jones got injured. I think it was MCL tear. And, or not tear. Fracture? I don't remember which one it is. But anyway, he'll be out for some time. And then we just got to get a run game involved. Jaden Reed is very good. I like where he's going. Romeo Dobbs is clutch.
Yeah, me too. He's going in a starting lineup in one of my fantasy leagues. So he's consistently drop 220.
Yeah, so I think their offense is definitely improving. And then, I don't know. I think it was really just Jordan Love's game that game. He did amazing. I think he had 300. It was the first time a QB had 300 pass yards for the Packers in like 2 years, which is insane considering Aaron Rodgers. It was on the team, so I'm very happy with Jordan Love. Yeah, exactly. But
and your time's up, buddy.
Okay, well you wasted some time. So.
Shut up. Seahawks, here we go. Imagine winning in LA or against an LA team. Good night.
Oh no, we beat two of them this year.
Anyways, DK Metcalf has played great back-to-back weeks. Finally, he's back. But as DK's production grows, Kenneth Walker's decreased and Kane gets hurt. I think Zach Charbonnet will be able to step into his shoes fine, but the Seahawks, I don't know how you lose to LA again. Like, come on, guys. Jason Myers has been honestly terrible but good at the same time. He makes the field goals and they miss like at least 1 or 2 kicks a game. And I texted Elijah, he might be one of the most unclutch players in the NFL as of this season. I mean, he's been good, and then he's been bad at times. It's just the life of the kicker. Honestly, I don't got much words to say other than Gino. I don't know if this is his season. I don't know what's going to happen in the future with him. He's playing good, better the past weeks, but that's it for the Seahawks. Other than Bobby Wagner, 105 tackles in the league. He's sitting at number 5.
Yeah. Nice. I think Geno Smith is a one-year wonder, as I kind of mentioned in our.
I like Jordan Love.
No, Jordan Love is trash. Honestly, he hasn't had his 1 year yet. He's a one-game wonder.
You can agree on something.
He's a one-game wonder. So, but yeah, right, well, that's our SeaPack Reacts, and let's get on.
This is what we've been waiting for so long because I have so much I have to just let out.
Yes, but please keep it G-rated.
We'll keep it to a somewhat decent amount of time.
Okay, so here we go.
Steelers.
Here we go.
Pittsburgh's
gonna fire their stupid coach.
I like that.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say they're going to like Niagara Falls because like Canada. Actually, no, we're leaving Niagara Falls.
That wasn't good. Okay.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, yes, Matt Canada has been fired.
Yes.
He's gone.
But you know what? Hey, Levi, why don't we wait till the end to talk more about that? Let's get into the game first. Okay. And then we'll get to that.
Then we'll get to Matt Canada.
All right.
You guys have to wait as long as I do, so we'll let you make this quick.
All right. So we'll start out with a quick question. Is Jaylen Warren becoming a top running back? 2 weeks in a row, he was nominated for Ground Player of the Year or whatever that is, where just a really good running back gets nominated for the best running back of the week.
Right.
I think I said a week, but go ahead.
Yeah, I think he's not quite there yet. It's when you look at some of the best running backs, it's because their offense runs through them. And yes, I feel like it's just so strange with the Steelers offense. Like, because we can say we are a run-heavy team, but then the runs won't work, and then he'll pop off a good one. Like, the stats look good, and the way Warren... I don't even know how I want to answer this question.
Yeah, just think about it like this.
Can Warren become a top running back in the league? Absolutely.
That's what I mean.
Right now, not quite yet.
Yeah,
he needs a better offensive line. He needs better play calls. He needs better everything. But the only reason why he is doing as good as he is because there's still Najee in the backfield with him.
Sure.
You saw it with Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. Pollard gets the starting job, has not lived up to what he did the season before as the quote-unquote backup. So with the new change in the offensive coordinator position, I think these two can really work off of each other well now, and I feel like there's just going to be a different feel in the running game this upcoming week against the Bengals.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely think he'll eventually get there. And then let's go into our next one. What's up with the miscommunication between Kenny Pickett and his receivers? It seems to be he thinks they're doing a comeback route, but they're running a streak. It seems to be he's
Right.
either he's throwing to nobody, but obviously there's some miscommunication going on. So I don't.
I'm gonna be honest. It was loud in that stadium for no reason. Like Browns fans, they're like non-existent.
You know what's crazy? Actually, today at work, a guy came in with a Browns jacket on, and I dogged on him a little bit, but obviously he had the upper hand with the winning going
Yeah,
on.
dog, I don't get it like that.
Yeah,
Dog,
yeah, shut up.
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
It was a little loud in there, and it's just it's the miscommunication between offensive coordinator to quarterback to wide receivers. Nobody's on the same page. And it's difficult whenever you're trying to please five guys on the field at once. We all know how much Pickett loves Freiermuth. Wanted to get him the ball. I think Muth had one catch.
Yeah. So
Obviously coming back from injury.
Pickens wants
Connor Hayward was very involved against the Packers. Nothing against the Browns. Pickens obviously wants the ball. We get that. Eventually he needs to grow up a little bit and not just be like a baby about everything. But obviously he wants the ball. Give the ball to him. He's going to make a play out of it. Deontay, honestly, you got to say it's mostly on Kenny because the receivers are doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're getting open. Kenny's just not being accurate when he's throwing the ball.
Yeah. And I think his accuracy and stuff like that also comes back to the O-line because they're giving him like not enough time. I saw a play where he definitely could have made the throw, but being a young guy, he's obviously not going to make it yet.
You talking about like that third down, like that crossing route?
Yeah, exactly. That guy was going to be open if he had just an extra.
Oh, Deontay's what? I saw that video like 5 times today.
Yeah. If he was just an extra second, he may have hit that for a touchdown.
Right.
It's the line needs to work on the passing game a little bit. I'm not saying Kenny is good. I'm not. I think he definitely has some work to do.
He's got a lot of work.
Yeah. So
new management in his facility, I guess. So we'll see how that works out for him.
Yep.
Real quick, obviously we talked about Shaquille Leonard being cut. Should the Steelers go out and sign him? And then waive Blake Martinez.
I know it's crazy. They got Blake Martinez, and then like an hour later, Shaquille Leonard gets cut. But,
got released, yeah.
So they have some options going on right now because again, Miles Jack came back to the practice squad. Obviously, they signed Blake Martinez. So I don't think that they're going to get him, but should they get him?
I don't think they're thinking long term either.
Yeah,
they just want a bridge guy.
And I think him being cut would be a indication that he's probably not going to be a long-term guy for any team going forward because obviously there was something going on in Indianapolis, maybe with his age or something. But I just don't. I don't.
Zaire Franklin's having himself a year.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I don't think the Steelers would go and get him. Usually they don't. I don't know. I just think they're going to stick to what they got right now, which is unfortunate because Blake Martinez ain't the guy.
They still got a Landon Roberts and Michael Walker, so.
Yeah, but you know.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about what was good from the week. Ken Sullivan had a great game. Warren had a great game. And, of course, our buddy Boz.
Big Boz. Well, of course.
What was bad? Joey Porter. He's very aggressive, which I love about him, but the penalties need to stop.
Yeah.
It's been like maybe 10 penalties against him in the last 3 weeks. And I know it might not like be bad like in the game whenever you look at how much yardage he might be giving them at the end of the game, it's not good for us, you know?
Yeah. It's not like it's coming in like critical moments, but it does add up. So
well, sometimes it's on a third down too that get our defense off the field. Obviously, Kenny, he's in our. Kenny has been inaccurate throwing the football all season long. Too high, too low, nowhere to be found. It's just been whatever.
Yeah.
Pass protection, as we talked about, needs to improve. Here we go, though. We got 2 things. Terrell Austin, or is that his name, Terrell?
Yeah, Terrell Austin.
Yeah. Defense looked just bad. And then here's how we just tie in our 2 offensive and defensive coordinators. Our defense looks bad all game long. We're not playing great to the Browns' backup team, basically. And then we get a couple turnovers, get a couple 3-and-outs. Whenever we are the defense with the most takeaways in the entire league, and we cannot put up more than 10 points to the Browns practice squad, obviously there's an issue, right?
Yeah.
If we're forcing turnovers and our defense is doing everything they can, even though they're worn out because our offense can't stay on the field for longer than 3 plays, there's obviously an issue. And I think it took Tomlin, I don't think it took Tomlin this long. I think Tomlin finally realized enough was enough, and that's why he had to fire Canada.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm ranting now.
All right. I guess that goes on to our that goes on to our next point. At I forget what exactly the time was. I'm gonna check real quick. But I got a text from Levi himself while I had finished my math test. It was a pretty easy test, if you were wondering.
Mine was not today. I definitely failed that.
Okay. I see Canada, Canada, Canada. And then I pull down my notification, and there I see it. Steelers fire offensive coordinator Matt Canada. That honestly made my day. I mean, it made
It
everything.
wasn't even like the enlightenment that just happened to my high school, walking through the hallways,
Yeah.
people cheering. I can only imagine what the team was thinking today. I can only imagine what Pickens was thinking, Najee was thinking.
Yeah.
And obviously, a guy's going home tonight without a job.
Yeah, it's just very unfortunate. I hate that we all are celebrating something like this because, again, it's a human being. I mean,
Right.
everybody was saying fire this guy, and it wasn't even just in Pittsburgh. There were college games, people were just saying fire.
Utah,
Yeah,
Illinois,
even Ohio.
okay, that's Ohio. So,
um,
no, it's just
it's
obviously at the end of the day, he's a human too. He's gonna make mistakes.
Yeah, and I'm not rooting against the guy. I'm just rooting against what
His skill set for our team at the moment.
The lack of success he has had in Pittsburgh.
Could go back to college, go back to college coaching. I think he would succeed there.
Sure, yeah.
It just wasn't meant from a 16-year-old, or 17-year-old. Jeez.
He wasn't meant to be in Pittsburgh, an offensive coordinator, and it's unfortunate, but it is necessary for a team. It's a business. That's what they always say in football. You just got to do better at your job. If you're not doing well, then obviously there's got to be a consequence.
And honestly, though, I feel like it just took too long. It took too long.
Yeah, it did.
And we're riding off the high of the Packers game, how well we did offensively then.
Yeah.
And the Tennessee game before that. And then we saw our true colors. Well, our true colors are black and gold. But we saw the bad colors this past Sunday. And it's so bad. I'm going to go back to the point I already said earlier. If our defense is working their butts off to force turnovers, get 3 and out, you absolutely have to capitalize on offense.
And the thing is, our secondary is so bad that when we get a turnover, we need to score on that play.
We need to score.
Because
it's not that our secondary is bad, it's just we're inconsistent or hurt.
I think they're just bad, to be honest.
But
yeah.
And then Canada, he just puts this might have been one of the worst play calls I've ever seen in my life. First of all, Kenny got lucky on that 4th and 1 that he got.
Yeah. Man,
that play was through the foul.
Did you wait? Hold on.
I don't understand what runs through your head. If I'm seeing Myles Garrett on a 4th and 1, where are you running the ball, Elijah? There's Myles Garrett right there.
Yeah.
Where are you going to run the ball?
I'm going to run it to the opposite side.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're going to put your already injured quarterback who has a broken rib right now or bruised rib up right against Myles Garrett, and you think that's a half-decent idea.
Yeah, and considering Kenny Pickett, how much he gets injured, and that he got injured on that play, I mean, you got to be careful.
Like in his eye. But still, it's just stuff like that where I'm sitting in my basement recording a podcast with 11 followers.
14.
And I'm realizing
it's 14. It's 14.
14, sorry. It really does make you think, dang, this guy isn't always the smartest, right?
Yeah.
And he just puts us in positions to get ourselves hurt.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, too, one time it works in a game. Jalen Warren will pop off on a 3rd and 18. That one time he got us a huge first down. It's 3rd and 15. The
Yeah.
next time it was like a 3rd and 22. We tried the same play again, and it didn't work. Like, this isn't Madden where we can just run the same play over and over because there's a glitch in the defense.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like I feel like Canada's like, oh, this already worked before. Let's try it again now. It's not gonna
Yeah.
work. Like, it's just not gonna work again.
Yeah, and the fact that like there's been complaining about defense knowing the play before it happens is insane.
You watched the interview with Najee?
Yeah,
They were like, "Do you feel like defenses already know what she's gonna do?" I mean, he had to stop himself before he said something.
yeah, because that's
He
what
was like,
Jukes got benched for.
"Yeah."
So
But
I think it's crazy that they actually fired Canada like today because I thought they were
we
going to
don't
wait to
do
the end
that.
of the season because he
I
was
was very surprised we
'cause-
didn't do it at the end of the season.
yeah,
But enough was enough.
yeah.
Um,
But what do you think
we
is going to actually happen? So what? So Coach Mike Sullivan, the QB coach, is going to be calling the plays, but
with
the
the
running back
backs
coach
coach.
is
Yeah,
making making the game plan. So what does that mean for the rest of the season? As for the
it means
Sabres?
we have to focus the heck up. It means we have to act like this Sunday is the game that gets us into the playoffs or not.
Mhm.
Because we don't have a hard schedule. We do not have a hard schedule from here on out.
No, it's all
We
backup
played
quarterbacks.
our last 2 games of the season will be important, but these next couple of weeks are not hard, and it has to it right now it puts honestly it puts more pressure on Kenny Pickett's succeed because he has no one else to blame but himself if he continues to play the way he does,
Yeah.
and that's just a fact.
And I think, obviously, since the running back coach is going to be making the game plan, I think they're going to be involving the run game more. Obviously, I think that's what they want to do since they made him in charge of the game plan. And then I don't know how well it'll go with the QB coach calling the
Right.
plays, but I think it's mostly going to be focused on running the ball because that's what's worked as of late of the season. It hasn't worked in the beginning, but
Honestly, this is a game where you can try to do something new, you know?
yeah. And
Your first week without Canada, and you're playing. I'm not gonna underestimate the Bengals because they still have talent.
They do. They're just missing their quarterback, which yeah, but
is a lot.
Yeah,
but
they still have a defense and some receivers. But anyway, yeah, go ahead. I get what you're saying.
I don't even remember what I was going to say.
You were saying,
just try something new and just watch. Even on the first drive of the game, it's going to be a different feel.
Yeah, hopefully it should be a different feel. If it's not, then what?
It's just going to be a different.
What was the point?
It's going to be a different like I feel like we can kind of walk into this game with a smile on our face, knowing that it might not be smooth all the way through the game, but there's at least some hope. And the one thing I've noticed with Kenny Pickett too is he hasn't turned over the ball much at all over the past couple of games. Because he's not throwing the ball that much.
He's not throwing it in the middle of the field. It's always to the outside. But also
every interception he doesn't throw, that's a touchdown he's not throwing.
True, right. That's what I was just gonna say. He is the least. He hasn't had a multiple touchdown game ever. Like, I don't think at all in his career. As in passing, he has had some rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, so obviously I would rather Kenny have 2 passing touchdowns and an interception than him just have nothing across the board. So
yeah. Well, the main thing is to win the game and to make the playoffs.
Right.
And
honestly, if we go 9-8, miss the playoffs, it's a better draft pick for us, and maybe some embarrassment in the playoffs.
True, but never had a losing season. Hope that kind of stays.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to win a playoff every once in a while. But hopefully, with Matt Canada's firing, that changes will start to happen, and we will become the Pittsburgh Steelers that we used to be. And so go Steelers.
Sign Big Ben as your offensive coordinator.
Or Ken Dorsey.
No. If Dorsey got fired from a good offense.
Yeah, okay, but it was Josh Allen throwing the picks. So.
No,
I don't think it's his fault.
Clutch, that's why. Broncos country, let's ride. We'll see you all in the Super Bowl. No, I'm joking. We'll see you all next week for episode 13 of The Huddle, Season 2. and Week 13. You get the gist. Black Friday game this week. We got Miami
Thanksgiving,
Dolphins
of course.
versus Jets. What?
Thanksgiving too.
Oh yeah, Thanksgiving. I was
Happy
gonna get to
Thanksgiving,
that.
everybody.
Seahawks play 49ers. Lions and Packers plays both of our favorite teams, and of course, Cowboys and Commanders. But nobody thinks about that. So without, what am I trying to say? Goodness gracious! Thank you for listening. Have a great Thanksgiving, or we hope you had a great Thanksgiving whenever this episode gets put out. We will see you all next week. Thank you for listening.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Peace. I'm dreaming of a white
What's his name?
Christmas.
What's his name?
Jordan Malata,
Malata,
I think. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I said, I'm dreaming.